There is something potent brewing in the market, and it is absolutely time to lock in and to pay attention and be ready for something explosive that may be coming for Bitcoin and by extension for altcoins as well. And whether it's short term or long term, I don't know. But what I'm seeing, and I'm going to show you two charts in this video, what I'm seeing is very bullish. And the reason why I'm hesitant when I say very bullish is that it's April of the bear market year. And I know I've been of this mindset that Bitcoin is not bottoming in the fourth quarter, but it's still kind of difficult to navigate. All right, we're still early in 2026. Should a move like this be happening? But I don't want to ignore these things, and it is entirely possible that a move like this will come. And what's a timeline? I don't know, a couple weeks, a couple months. But a move like this, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second, is imminent. And so, all right, let me show you two charts here. First chart is, when it comes to Bitcoin, large speculators' net position. And you can see that large speculators, who are large speculators, whales, smart money, institutions, they are in a position with Bitcoin right now that we haven't seen in the last 5 years, first of all. But then the last time that it was anywhere close to this was around September of 2023. And you can see that they were very long in November of 2023, that they had positioned themselves, September. They had positioned themselves in such a way that they were about to take advantage of a significant move higher in Bitcoin. Now, when did that move higher happen? It didn't happen in September. We were still in the middle of a 200-day range in September, but it did happen just a couple months later. In November of 2023, that is when Bitcoin broke out of that 200-day range and then never came back. It was in a major way. And then you can see historically, just when large speculators are net long, Bitcoin has done very well. I mean, the last time it was elevated was that April 7th of 2025 bottom. And Bitcoin then rallied to a new all-time high 2 months later. And then previous times, you can see, 2022 bear market, They started going long a little bit early in the bear market. When Bitcoin went down to $17,000, that's when they started going long. But it wasn't as convictional as right now or as late 2023. So they were a little bit early. And is it possible that they're a little bit early now? Yes. But if it's like late 2023, we're talking about 2 months before we would see some kind of big explosive move from Bitcoin. So that's number one. Where are the large speculators? Here's chart number two. And this chart shows us funding rates. And it's frustrating looking at this chart, and I'm sorry about this, but if you were to see just 1 month earlier, this goes from middle April to today, but if you could see 1 month earlier, what you would see is a lot of red on this chart as well. And so you can see funding rates, all exchanges. You fast forward to February of 2026, and funding flipped very negative at a time when retail would flip negative. So this encapsulates a lot of retail funding. And wouldn't you know it, shorts, when the market flipped short, since that time that the market flipped short in a major way, Bitcoin has risen. I mean, we're talking about Bitcoin having bottomed at something like $60,200. The day that I'm making this video, Bitcoin's at around $73,000. Its price has gone up, and yet overall funding is red. And if you could see a month earlier on this chart, what you would see is that overall funding at the bottom in April of 2025 was also red. And so we have large speculators who are net long and retail who's net short. So if funding rates are red right now, the way that the market makers make the most money is if shorts get liquidated. And that is probably going to happen. And it's going to happen in such a way that Bitcoin's price rises dramatically. And I mean, one other thing I want to point out on this chart is just look at the most recent red spike here, the big spike down. So Bitcoin's risen to $73,000. And the average retail investor is looking at that as like, oh, hey, here's a great opportunity to add to my shorts, because obviously this is the time when the quote unquote bear flag breaks down and I'm going to make a lot of gains shorting Bitcoin. And it may be that they're caught flat footed and that they're set in the wrong direction as their shorts get liquidated. So retail, net short, large investors, net long. Similar to previous times, and when we've seen these previous times play themselves out, the large investors were positioned in a smart way, and retail was not positioned in a smart way, and retail lost. And looking at both of these charts combined, it looks like retail is going to lose in a major way. So what does that mean? That means Bitcoin's going up from here, most likely. That we're not going to have this breakdown of this so-called bear flag, but that, yeah, it looks like a bear flag. That doesn't mean it's going to end up being a bear flag. It doesn't have to work out that way. And this would create potentially, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, the most hated rally in all of crypto history. Because no, we are supposed to go down. I'm going to make my money, not me in particular, but I'm going to make my gains because the market's going down. Oops, maybe you should pay attention to some other factors. But personally, I am quite bullish for April and May. And who knows, maybe we'll be crabbing throughout the entire summer. But it makes sense to be a bull from many, many metrics. But we'll see. I'll see you in another video.